Hello everyone, it's Rachel. Welcome back to Book and Bloom. Today I have a very fun video. I'm going to be reading like Jacob Collier for a month. I was inspired by this because he posted some of his favorite books a little while ago for World Book Day. A lot of them looked really good, and a few of them I had wanted to read but I had never read, or books that I'd heard really good things about. I love his music, so I felt like he probably has good taste in books. So I thought it would be fun to bring you guys along and actually share some of my thoughts on the books that I read this month. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring you guys into the rest of the video. Will be, some vloggy stuff, and then I'll conclude with my thoughts on these books. I just picked up my books. I actually got them from the library, but I love the library. Like, definitely utilize your library. While I was out, got me coffee. Got me a banana iced coffee. So I got my bag, my amazing tote bag. I have so many book themed tote bags now, just over the years of friends giving them to me. But here's my haul. So first off, this one is the most intimidating to me. I did not expect it to be so honkin' big, but this is a swim in a pond, or a swim in the, a swim in a pond in the rain. I'm excited for this. This is a nonfiction, and it says it's about writing, reading, and life. And I love all of those things. I like reading, I like writing, I like life. Sounds great. This one, I think this one's probably, well, other than the kids' books. There's two kids' books. Frog and Toad. It's crazy that I haven't read Frog and Toad because I love their aesthetic. Like, I love them as characters whenever I see them, but I've never read a Frog and Toad book. They're just so cottagecore. So great. And then Harold and the Purple Crayon. Again, I haven't read this one, but I love picking up children's books and picture books. I think everyone has different kind of like definitions of what it means to be well read. To me, being well read means picking up a little bit of everything, including children's literature. It's kind of sad that a lot of those very whimsical ideas are only reserved for children's literature, and we don't really see a lot of whimsy and silliness and stuff. I mean, I guess we do see silliness. It's just different. I feel like, the older you get, there's more of a desire for realism and like grungy and dark themes and more mature topics, and that has its place, and that's, it's important to explore those things as well. But I love the whimsy, I love the fun, I love so I'm excited. I'll know that I'll love these for sure. This one I also have a feeling that I will enjoy. It's A Gentleman in Moscow. I've seen really great things about this author, so I have a feeling I'll really like it. I have no clue what it's about, but I think that's the best. At least when it comes to fiction, I feel like most of the time that's the best way to experience it. And then this one, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle about The Hidden Life of Trees. I think I will like it, but it's not necessarily something that it's something it's probably not something I would actually pick up for myself, because I feel like when I seldomly read nonfiction, but when I do, it's usually about like writing, storytelling, kind of self-help-esque kind of books, or it's about somebody's life. So I'm usually drawn to, things revolving around life and people and their stories, and as much as I enjoy nature, I don't usually, like, even the documentaries that I enjoy reading or watching are just typically more focused towards people rather than nature. As much as I enjoy nature. I love nature. I love being outside. I love trees. But yeah, so that's my little haul, and I'm still in the process of finishing The Lord of the Rings. I'm on the last book. I'm on Return of the King right now, and I only have like 40 pages left, so I'm gonna finish that, and then I think I'm gonna start The Hidden Life of Trees. So yeah, bye. Hello, welcome back. So I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on these books, and I also wanted to share, this is Hudson. I got him. So while I was in Minnesota, we took a little drive over to Wisconsin, and we went to this really cute town called Hudson, Wisconsin, and I got this little guy in a cute little antique store. So yeah, this is Hudson. I just can't resist a fun little guy to add to my room. I have way too many little animals and little guys just in my room, including Harold. I have a Harold, just like I kind of have my own little frog and toad. I also have my own Harold, but he is a sheep and he is just, yeah, I'll just show him to you. I'll film a little clip and show him to you guys. I'm staring at him. He just looks over me. He's just such a good friend. He just really looks out for me. But unfortunately, Harold wouldn't be able to hold a purple crayon. He actually can't hold anything. Poor guy. But he just decided to quit while he was ahead. So on that note, let me go ahead and get into my thoughts on these books. So, big surprise, Jacob Collier has great taste. Hidden Life of Trees, I would say, of all the books that I read, this one was the most out of my comfort zone. It's not that I don't enjoy nonfiction. It's not necessarily my go-to. I love fiction. Fiction is definitely my favorite. But there's a lot of really amazing nonfiction books that I've read. Nonfiction books that are either self-help or about writing, or they're about somebody's life. That's usually like my comfort zone within nonfiction. So I haven't really read many books that were just on a particular topic. So this one was very much out of my comfort zone in that way, but I absolutely loved it. Such a beautifully written book, and so incredibly fascinating. it was really fun. It was such a fun adventure. Now, I would rate this book, for me, this book was still a 4-star. It's still a really great rating. It's not necessarily a new favorite book of mine, but it's definitely something I would recommend and something I would love to reread in the future. I still found myself longing for some story. I still wanted to, like, for there to be a tree that we learned its history. I was expecting there to be some more element of story to it. That's what I was hoping for and really longing for. And by the end of the book, I still found myself, as much as I was trying to just kind of get into the world and get into the book, I still found myself wanting to know more about the author and his life, what led him to choose this career path and what led him also to have such a different perspective on trees. A lot of them, their mindset is very viewing the trees as purely a material and a resource, and he has such a different perspective. He sees them as living. And yeah, it was just so eye-opening. I actually have a short story about a little girl who runs away to live in the woods. She meets a badger that she befriends and she can talk to. I kind of want to lean into that element more in my story and have her meet some other animals and also maybe even meet a tree. Oh, there was so many beautiful moments. Trees do better when they're together, most of them, instead of being on their own, especially with knowing how they are. I mean, they're still competing for sunlight, for nutrients, but they still do better when they're together, when they're able to lean on each other and help each other when one might be sick. That they can communicate with each other and learn from each other. Like, that is just, and of course I can't help but connect that to, the human experience, that no man is an island, and we oftentimes have this really silly belief that we can be independent and we can do things on our own. But when you really break down everything that you're doing on your own, you're still not doing it on your own. Really beautiful seeing that in nature as well. And also, just as a Christian, I can't read books like this about, really in general, anything about nature without just being in awe of creation. And everyone has, different beliefs, but I believe that God created the world, and so books like this really magnifies his fingerprints. I also thought that it was really funny finding out how sassy trees are and how they're kind of passive aggressive. They see the giraffes coming and they crop dust. They basically crop dust them. They let it loose. Oh no! He made a scientific discovery that was really impactful and answered a lot of questions. There was a part in this book that talked about there being mystery still with trees. I think that's so cool. I love that there is still so much to explore, so much to discover. We'll never have all the answers, and a lot of people might feel frustrated by that, but I think that's so exciting. I think that's so fun that we'll always have something to ask, to discover, to explore, to find out. But yeah, so I really loved this book. I want to own it one day so that I can actually highlight it and annotate it and really take my time reading it, because I think I rushed myself a little bit too much. I think I should have slowed down a little bit. And then next I read Frog and Toad, which I loved. I absolutely loved this book. I loved it so much. I knew that I would. I knew Frog and Toad. I knew their vibe, and I was so down for their vibe. I basically have my own Frog and Toad, Tabitha and Hazel. I'm a child, guys. I'm a 25-year-old child, unapologetically. But yeah, so reading this book felt like meeting a kindred spirit. I love Frog and Toad before I even knew Frog and Toad. I don't know why. Why wasn't this a part of my childhood? I wish this was a part of my childhood. Like, reading this now, I'm like dissecting it and really engaging with it. And because the first time I read this, I didn't understand the whole bathing suit story, I was like, what is the point of this? Why are they making fun of Toad? But I think there is still a license. I mean, even if there wasn't, not that you have to have a lesson, or a meaning or a purpose. Sometimes with story, sometimes it's okay to just have fun or to be silly or to not have a reason. I think it's about human nature that, if you say, like, don't look at me in my bathing suit, well, guess what? Everyone's gonna want to look at you in your bathing suit. And by the end, he kind of like, yeah, I look funny in my bathing suit. He kind of owns up to it. And so I think that was kind of the moral of the story, is like, if you have something that you might be embarrassed about, it's better to just own up to it, just embrace it, just be like, yeah, I'm wearing my silly bathing suit and I'm gonna rock it. I'm gonna strut. Like, by the end, he was just like strutting off. Of the stories, my favorite was definitely the button story. I thought that was so cute. I mean, they're all so cute. Like, the letter story also is so stinking cute, but the button one is just, it's so relatable. I wish I was Frog. And I'm Frog sometimes, and I'm definitely relate to Toad when he gets frustrated over just silly things and then having to apologize about it. I relate to Toad a lot in that way. I can be a drama queen, but I love the jacket. I want that jacket so much. It's so cute. I love buttons. Buttons are so fun. I also really loved the story about Toad trying to tell Frog a story. That is the process that sometimes it feels as a writer, trying to get through a story, trying to actually write a story. It just feels like, yeah, I gotta get it out of me. I gotta like hit myself. I have to like go upside down. I have to pour water on my, like, I had to do something to get it out of me. I don't know how. That just felt really, really relatable. 5 stars. No surprise, 5 stars. And then after Frog and Toad, I read A Gentleman in Moscow, which was amazing. Wonderfully written. The whole feel of the book is so cozy and interesting. It's a very, I feel like it is a very slow book. It's not like the end of the book is very fast paced. The whole book, you really do feel like you're just in the Count's shoes. It really places you in the Count's shoes. Life feels like it's slowed down because he can't engage with the world in the way that he used to anymore. His world is just completely in the hotel. He really slowed down, and you might think that would make this book boring, slow, like it would feel like a slow book, but it doesn't. It's like, it is slow, but it's like a nice slow. It feels cozy. It feels like you really get to know the characters so well. You really feel the passage of time, and you get to see how the Count and all of the characters, how they grow, how their relationships grow, how they become friends. These moments of time passing, it's kind of like a reminder that the world is still going on around him. Like, they're just kind of protected and safe in this little bubble that is the hotel. But everything around, like everything outside of that, of course, like a lot is happening, a lot is changing within Russia, within the world, but they're not really feeling the effects of it as much. Like, there is change, but it's very like small in comparison to all the change that's going on in the world. I haven't really read much Russian literature, so I didn't get to experience like the fun of the different references to Russian authors. That will be one thing that will be fun when I do reread this in the future, is understanding more of the references. So interesting. It was really fun learning about just the history and the culture. Ending was crazy and so good, and an unexpected ending while also being the most perfect. This was definitely my favorite book of the group. It's so well written, the story is so compelling, does something unique with the slowness of it. It really utilizes that slowness. It feels very intentional. If this was a fast-paced book, it would feel kind of strange. Initially, I thought this was like a thriller or like a mystery or something. I really enjoyed going into it completely blind. Highly recommend. Oh, and also I thought it was funny. You can tell that this author is a musician in some way, or is just knowledgeable about music, because there was lots of little moments of like, oh, like this happened and it was in the you know, it was a G major or something. I don't know. Reading this book while thinking in the back of my mind of like, oh, I wonder why Jacob Collier likes this book, and he's just like, I know that note. I can recognize that note. Perfectly timed afterwards, I read A Swim in a Pond in the Rain, which was so fun. This one's definitely the most underrated of the bunch. I've read so many books about writing, and I was a creative writing major in college, so I've had lots of different professors and their different ways of teaching. Most of them were amazing, and honestly, I feel like I've read only a few writing books that I actually really liked, and I really liked the advice, because a lot of them end up unraveling into, these are your rules and this is what you have to do, and you need to sit down for this amount of time and you need to write this amount of words. This book did a really wonderful job of actually giving good writing advice, which is so refreshing, because I feel like there's so many books out there about writing. Everyone wants to have these like kind of step-by-step process, rules, things that are definable, things that are very like, oh, if you do this, you will be successful. And a lot of things in life are not that way. It's so different for each and every person. There isn't one way to do everything. There isn't one way to skin a cat. I don't really like that. There's more than one way to dress a cat, you know? I don't know. I really love that was the heart of it. It was really just going through these stories. What can we learn from them? What did the story do well? Like, what did it do poorly? Also, I absolutely loved all of these really great writers and these great stories. A lot of them are not perfect. A lot of them have problems with them. Telling a good story, telling a story successfully doesn't mean doing it perfectly. It means writing something, creating something that connects with someone, that moves them in some way, that gives them something. That's how I feel about art. That's how I feel about music. That's how I feel about story. And so I loved that. I loved that so much. I think about The Singer's short story, which is basically, if you're unfamiliar with that story, it's basically just a singing contest. And there's the one singer who's just very talented, very skilled, but then there's the second singer who isn't very talented as a singer, is pitchy, he's a little more awkward, he's a little more shy, but he connects with the song. The first singer was just so focused on trying to impress, trying to do as best as he can, win the contest. The other singer wasn't even trying, like he kind of gave up a little bit. He kind of just like, okay, I guess I'll sing, because you know, I signed up for this contest, but I don't really feel like I have a chance, but I'm gonna try. He ends up winning because he's able to move people so much more than the first singer. And I think that is so true. We don't connect with AI art. It doesn't resonate with us. It doesn't move us. We do from something that is imperfect, something that is human, something that, like, I think about like how magical it is to go to a museum. I think about my experiences at the Louvre, at Musée d'Orsay. I think about going to Van Gogh's museum, being able to see the art, to see the texture, to see, like, especially with Van Gogh's work, seeing the thick paint on the canvas and the brush strokes and the imperfection, those little parts of it that just make it so human, resonates, moves you when you see it. How beautiful. Felt like a celebration of that, you know, of the imperfections, of the parts of story that are just so real, so raw, so human. My favorite album of his is The Light for Days, and probably also in my room. Not that I don't love the Jessie volumes, I think they're so fun. The Light for Days is probably my favorite album, and I think it's because it feels the most personal, it feels the most raw. The Light for Days. 4 days. He had 4 days. It's not trying too hard. And not that I don't love Jessie. Jessie is so fun. There's just as much room at the table for Jessie, you know, all the volumes of Jessie and the maximalism and the fun and the all over the place of Jessie. But after you listen to Jessie, it just like, okay, I need a break. It feels like you've gone all over the world and now you're tired, and so that's why The Light for Days feels perfect, because it's like, okay, we get to go back home, we get to curl up and just curl up by the fire, you know, have some tea with an old friend, and just share stories and cry a little bit, laugh a little bit, and just be a human. But yeah, I got on a tangent. Anyways, I really loved this. This was so fun. And it was so fun reading this after A Gentleman in Moscow, being able to actually read some Russian literature. I gave this 4 stars. I was engaged the whole time. I enjoyed the journey. I still kept on like expecting it to kind of go into kind of the life side. I enjoyed when we talked about life. The writer talked about life. I was expecting that a little bit more and kind of wanted a little bit more of that. I'm definitely going to recommend this to some of my writer friends, and really just my friends in general, anyone who's interested in Russian literature. I loved this. I really enjoyed it, but I'm not going to like climb a mountain and scream and just sing out and just be like, everyone read this book. I would do that for this book. I would do that for Frog and Toad. So now let's transition. This is the last book that I read, is Harold and the Purple Crayon. And personally, I think I like my Harold a little bit more than this Harold. He's still cool. He's still a cool kid. I like his color choice. Purple is a great color. That's my favorite color, is purple. I do think that it's a 4-star for me. I'm not going to name my firstborn Harold. I hope I have twins so that I can name them Frog and Toad. Oh my gosh, no. That'd be tragic. Could you imagine naming your children Frog and Toad? This was so fun. It was very cute. With a lot of children's literature, you read through it and you just have a lot of fun, but you really have to give yourself time to really sit in it, see the deeper beauty of it. I know that I'm probably making this deeper than it actually is, but you know, that's the fun thing about story, is that you can do whatever you want with it. The story feels kind of like a way to look at life, that we have these plans, like Harold has this plan, oh, I'm gonna go on this walk. And initially he creates this straight path because he doesn't want to get lost, right? And then he realizes, like, this is not really what I wanted it to be. This is not what I really expected. He lets himself just kind of explore the world and go off the path. Life is happening when you're busy making other plans. That we can plan all we want, that, oh, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go on a walk, I'm gonna stay on the path, you know, I'm not gonna get lost. It's not bad to have plans, it's not bad to have goals, but it's like you have to have the balance. There's all the ups and downs in life, and the path usually ends up being a lot more squiggly and wiggly than you expect it to be. But how much more fun and how much more wonderful it turns out, you know? And even in those dark moments, it's like there's still beauty in that too, because we still learn something from it. We're still able to you know, we deepen our relationships, we learn something about ourselves, we grow stronger as people, more resilient. We are able to encourage other people when they're in similar situations. Like, there's always something that we can take from it, which is so beautiful. If we had control of things like that, yeah, maybe our life would be more comfortable because it's predictable, but it would be so boring. All this to say, this was a really fun book. There's such beauty in simplicity, and just the end of it, like, it's just so, it was so good. It was so cute. I would love to hear if any of you guys have read any of these books, your perspectives, your reviews. What is a book that maybe you've read as an adult that you wish you could time travel back to when you were a kid and make a part of your childhood? Because Frog and Toad is definitely that book for me. I really enjoyed this. This was such a fun adventure this month, reading these books, and I would love to do something like this again in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Read a book and bloom on.